Hello everyone, Miri here with exciting news. So, before we dive into the new release content that we are going to be bringing up to you guys, I have a few important points I want to share. First off, you're more than welcome to ask any questions throughout the video in the comments below to ensure that you understand everything clearly. If you have any questions that you yourself are pondering, or even the theory crafting that you may bring up regarding the classes and the new mechanics that we're going to be mentioning in the video further on. Second, remember that everything that's going to be released is concept based and it's going to be tested in the final player test on July 3rd. They're going to have their daily tweaks and bugs to fixes to ensure that the polished final game product. This means that everything is not confirmed final for early access into release. Remember that the game is constantly changing and it's evolving to ensure that the Dungeonborne community has a unique playstyle with its way to create gaming memories for friends new and old. All right, so now what we're looking at is Dungeonborne's combat design pillars. There are 5 things that the devs have sit there put into for these design pillars. Each one of them is a good concept art that they are looking at the game to create a stable foundation of a game for everyone to be able to play and enjoy. The first one is your mind over mouse. They want to bring combat focusing on strategy and mind games rather than twitch reflexes or mouse precision. So they want you to think outside the box, like using the smoke to gain the upper hand on getting around and getting behind an enemy, or be able to tactically retreat if a situation like that occurs. Not every fight that you get into is not one that you are going to win. So you have to sit there and use your surroundings around you. Second, you want to gain information, you want to plan and execute. The battles follow a core loop of gathering information, whether it's the environment around you, the mobs that are around you, of where you can use the mobs to predict on using them as more, I'm going to use the mobs, sneak past them. That way the mobs get more engaged in the foe that's attacking you that you want to try to gain an upper hand on. So you want to create a plan and you want to execute it with precision. Everything around you, you have within the game maps, within whether it's mobs on the field or even other players that's in there to sit there and have like 3 to 4 way battles that happen in these solo or trio fights. Third one is the circular space for time. Special advantages require trade-offs in time, cooldown, or resources. Your movement skills and attacks cannot be spammed, and they will come at a cost. Best thing I could tell you is the sword master. Look at the sword master on how it is right now. You have to have the swords in your inventory in order to use your psychotic blades. Now, I know this is one of the biggest things that a lot of people are saying, hey, we really want to sit there and try and figure it out, but you got to also understand you have a really good ability and it comes at a huge advantage. So the only disadvantage that they can come up with right now is you have to sit there and come up with the idea of whether you're going to sit there and have all those swords in your inventory to sit there, keep on with the fight, or if you're going to sit there and get the equipment throughout the whole arena or solo dungeon exploration that you go through on what you're going to be able to get out. That's where the trade-off is going to be for that. The fourth one is every move is going to have a counter. Not every single strategy is going to have a domination overall. All your offensive moves are going to have counters. They're going to allow smart and adaptable players to turn the tide of the fight. Fifth, there's going to be something for everyone. The game offers a variety of playstyles and preferences, ensuring that all players can find something enjoyable. So for the next beta test that they have going on, they are going to focus on 2 things from what I've gathered. The introduction of many new ways and options for players to enjoy the game. And 2, they want to emphasize on combat and the in-game experience in itself to provide a new diverse world for everyone to enjoy. Next, we're talking about some exciting news about major game changes throughout everyone's favorite game. So some of you might have already guessed it from the teasers that's been shared within the last few weeks. And you're right, the affixes are going to be reworked and how they are going to be addressed. This overhaul has been in the pipeline for a while and the devs are finally thrilled to be able to share the events with you. So why the change? All comes down to the gear disparity. It's been noticed that the affixes were too numerical, meaning that it's just been a boost to damage or defense and it gives very little impact on how you actually play the game. It also made gear disparity worse and led to a more linear gameplay experience. Every class has had a singular meta, everyone used that same build, the weapon, passives, and the affixes that were given at that time. The devs want to change that and give you a more playstyle truly matter, allowing for your creativity to run wild with your favorite class. So in order to fix this, one of their main focus points is the conditional affixes. The new affixes will not only encourage different playstyles, but they're also going to be versatile for various uses. The concentration of builds within each class is also looked upon for enhancements. This will also help players discover new ways of playing their class, arming them with more tools for the long-term engagements. And that's not all. They've already been introducing new sets and versatile class skills. I mean, you've already saw the Death Knight Shroud ability or the Power Avengers jump that's been shown in teaser videos itself. Those new skills and sets are going to enable playstyles that weren't even possible before, including gold farming and PvE focused growth. So the changes are all about boosting creativity and versatility to the gameplay. And they are so excited to be able to give you so many new possibilities for these updates that they're going to be bringing future to come, not just now. So as always, we're going to sit there and look at this, and we're going to have more diverse adventure for our fun experience. So now we're diving into the world of affixes, builds, and game mechanics. Initially, your affixes might seem weak, but by perfecting and focusing on PvE and gathering more gear, you'll get a significant head start in the matches coming forward. Early good gear can make a huge difference. We'll also be discussing some various playstyles, from aggressive tactics like baiting and kiting to defensive strategies for such as like HP sponging and anti-burst damage. We'll also cover support and utility builds that bolster allies, counter attacks, and enhance both the physical and elemental defenses. You can mix and match the affixes to create something unique. This is where the devs are giving us our creativity and our spark to sit there and just create whatever you can and give you that drive for the most perfect ideal playstyle for yourself. For instance, combining baiting and kiting with PvE bursting and gold farming could give you a massive boost in gold, allowing you to use the market more effectively. So exactly what's changed? Let's talk about these new affixes. And previous affixes mainly provided plus damage or defense. Now they're introducing affixes that give like skill reduction, max life increases, and stacks on kill. You'll also see the max attack damage stacks, crit chance stack, interaction speed, and movement speed out of combat. They're going to give a more conditional out of combat modifiers such as life regeneration, critical strike chance, and life steal. You're also going to be able to utilize full life affixes, giving bonuses like attack damage, crit strike chance when you're at full life. Now, all these affixes, provided they give a better handle on early game and matches, they offer advantages like shields when using a skill, fire damage to attacks, and elemental damage to attacks. We even have the XP gain affix that's going to have the ability to level up your characters even faster, so they give you the boost in your stats as well, along with the extra gold affixes like the gold on kill and gold on the first chest opening, which are going to be perfect for the gold farmers out there, and get ready to take your game to the next level with these exciting updates. All right, remember all those cool adventures that we once shared in the dungeons, meet and greeting and slaying new friends and companions or enemies? Well, remember those cool sets that you used to collect as well? Let's imagine it with a twist this time. Set affixes that span multiple pieces of gear. Intrigued? Well, let's break it down. So here's a scoop. These set affixes aren't your everyday bonuses. They show up on rare or higher tier gear. And there's one special affix that can appear on uncommon gear. The magic happens when you start stacking those affixes across your equipment. Think your boots, your rings, your weapons, you name it. Each piece contributes points to a set. And once you hit that magic number, boom, you activate the set. But don't think you get away with just one piece and call it a day. No, 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 no. You need to spread those affixes across your gear to gather enough points to activate your set. And once you do, the fun doesn't stop there. You gather more points and you can unlock your unique perks that take your set to a next level of gameplay. So let's kick things off with a burst damage set affix called the Force of Trinity. This one's all about hitting hard and fast. Your first 3 unblocked attacks within 3 seconds deal extra damage, not just to your target, but to all the nearby enemies as well. Rack up to 25 points and you slow your targets down by 80% within 5 seconds. Hit 30 points and you're making of them vulnerable. It's like a debuff party. Next, we got the Storm Rage. Ever played a hit and run game? This is your go-to. As you move, you generate movement charges, hit 100, and your next unblock attack triggers Storm Rage, dealing lightning damage and slowing your target. Now, once you get that 25 points, you gain a sweet movement speed boost to either chase or escape, depending on your playstyle and that position point of where you are in that game. At 30 points, it gets even better. Storm Rage now even ricochets to 3 targets, dishing out extra lightning damage. Now, for those who love a good poke, there's Tiny Torment. It's a low investment, but high reward affix. Just 9 points and you're in. Every unblocked direct hit applies a bleed effect, dealing true damage over time. Sure, it's on a cooldown, but it's perfect for consistent small damage, especially for ranged weapons. For those up close brawlers though, Tangling Friend is, Tangling Friend, I call it Tangling Friend, but Tangling Chain is your friend. Stay close to an enemy for 3 seconds, land a hit, and you get a shield. Do this every 10 seconds against the same target or chain it across multiple foes. At 25 points, you get a speed boost, and at 30 points, a sweet life regen, perfect for those who love to stay in the thick of the fight. Last but not least, we have the Fairy of the Lake. This one's for the support players out there. Hit 20 points, land an unblocked hit, and you summon a fairy that explodes, dealing holy damage and shielding your enemies, or your allies. Sorry, you're shielding your allies. The fairy returns before it can trigger again, but once you hit 30 points, it zooms back faster and applies that explosive shield to you too. Talk about utility. Now, remember when I said it in the comments below, start your own theory crafting build? Well, let me give you a taste of my ideas that have come to pass with me. So take the Force of Trinity. I could see this being a more viable on daggers for rogues. And how quick you're able to attack with a backstab 2 hit that we get already grants you 1 more attack that you need to trigger this effect of unblocked direct damage. This ability is more viable for rogues or even sword masters, especially with the sword master's Psychonic Blade attack. The part I wonder though is what the range of the 100 physical damage to all nearby enemies, and I'm hoping to see where it is. I'm just hoping that it's not as big enough radius as a Cryomancer's AoE freeze skill that we've seen in the last beta. Now take the Force of Trinity, right? And let's sit there and add that to Tangling Chain. So the Tangling Chain, the skill is a more viable for the versatile builds for melee classes, and honestly, even your priest. The reason why I stay priest is when you're in team fights, whether you're in trios or even the PvP arena, a lot of teams, sorry priest, but they're funneling to take you out. With this skill, you will see the priest getting a free shield. One thing I have looked at and I pondered to myself, it does say it can be triggered once every 10 seconds against the same target. So does this mean each enemy that's nearby is a separate timer for a shield for potential stacks? If so, this could make it for a game breaker for the melee classes as well to stay in the fight and survive longer. By stacking those two together, think of a World of Hurt that you could just have as a melee class. Not only are you engaged in the fight to hit them and every 3rd strike brings forth more damage, but the longer a person's engaged in a fight with you, the more that they're going to be punished from your ever-growing shield for a long-lasting fight. This is the creativity I was talking about. And this is only the offensive affixes that we're talking about. And we haven't even gotten into the defenses. So we've already covered the cool ones. So let's talk about defenses and a bit of other fun of randomness. Trust me, you're going to love this. Let's kick things off with the dragon scale. Picture this. You're in the heat of the battle. And that first hit you take is reduced by 50%. Sounds OP, right? But wait, there's more. It's balanced with a 60-second cooldown. Now you gather 25 points. You get a damage reduction for the first 3 hits within 3 seconds. That's some serious tankiness, right? Remember though, you gotta act fast. 3 seconds or well, you're gonna lose it. And then you're gonna have to wait another 60 seconds to get it back. So let's talk about the build that I was talking about in the theory crafting real quick before we go into the other ones. Imagine adding dragon scale as a melee for even more tankiness. We don't have to go into a full dive for the 25 points for 3 extra hits, since I don't know well the full potential of our affixes that we're going to have for the characters. But if you put the shield on every 10 seconds from the Force of Trinity with a damage reduction from, the dragon scale, and then you have the added damage buff you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And that is the creativity that we're talking about. So we don't know exactly how many points we're going to get per thing. And yeah, it does state +5 dragon scale, +5 pity of death, +6 drunken alchemist. But you got to remember, rarity changes how many points you get. So we don't know if we could even have 3, 4, 5 affixes. So it's going to give you a lot more versatility, which is, again, in the founding pillars that they want for the gameplay itself. So next up, we're going to talk about something straight out of a heroic tale, the pity of death. When you take the fatal damage, instead of dropping dead, your health is set to 70. It's like having a second chance, a second wind at life. Once you hit 15 points, it can happen once every 2 minutes, 120 seconds. For all you D&D fans, it's like the Barbarian's relentless endurance, but with a cooldown twist. Now, let's brace yourselves for one of the personal favorites to Var'uun, the Drunk Alchemist. This one's all about RNG and fun. When you deal unblocked damage while out of combat, you get a random potion effect. Could be a mana regen, health regen, or even turn into a mimic. Imagine confusing your enemies or dodging their attacks because they think you're just a harmless chess. The catch, if you're attacking from range, you might send a random flask effect to your enemy instead, like a fire or thunderclap, or even launching them into the sky with stone shaping. At 20 points, you get those potions or flasks added directly into your inventory, so you get to double the fun. So let's talk about Midas Touch. This set affix brings to the bling. It's super easy to start, just 3 points to activate. Once it's activated, every enemy you kill drops 10 gold coins straight into your inventory. Here's the trick. You got to extract the bank to bank that gold. Hit 9 points and the first chest you open gives you 20 ornate gold coins. But wait, there's more. At 15, extracting gives you a whopping 600 coins into your bank account, plus everything that you've collected. It's like a gold rush every time. So there you have it, folks. You got some set amazing affixes to boost your defensive play, add a sprinkle of randomness to your adventures, whether you're tanking hits, cheating death, or rolling the dice with potions and gold. These affixes are sure to change the way that you play. So gear up, stack those points, let the plays of the games begin. Let that creativity hit you, and we'll figure out where we're all going to sit there and see the different versatility and creativity for each player. And that's where you have it. All these set affixes not only enhance your gear, but they change the way of your play. So start hunting for those rare pieces, mix and match, and unleash the full potential of your sets. I'm really, really excited and waiting to see the theory crafting from others in the comments below. So next, we're going to talk about the exciting news about Affix Rolling, the changes in our favorite game, and how they're going to play out. If you've been pulling your hair out for the nonsensical rolls, trust me, this is for you. And I've had the same experience as everybody else. So let's dive into it. As you know, we used to spend forever in trade chat, re-rolling gear endlessly, right? Yeah, those days are over. The devs have made some awesome changes. Now, defensive items like pants will only spawn defensive modifiers and attributes. No more useless offensive affixes on your armor. Isn't that a relief? Imagine this, you're rolling your gear and you get lightning damage on your armor. Frustrating, right? Well, not anymore. Now your armor will be just that, armor. This means you can focus more on playing and less time on re-rolling. It's pretty sweet, right? So let's check this out. We've got the cool new symbols, Omega, Phi, and Delta. They categorize offensive affixes. I won't spoil all the details, but exploring these will be a fun adventure for everybody else. The weapons are also getting the major upgrade too. They'll only spawn offensive affixes now, so no more rolling epic weapons in the garbage tier rolls. This means every weapon you will find will actually be useful, and you won't have to waste gold on the rerolls. So you remember when the rerolling costs around 300 gold? Yeah, that's history. So let's talk about the accessories. Rings and pendants will continue to be the universal affix rollers, but there's more. Some legendaries will have special effects that apply to your set affixes. Take the Flame Fury ring, for example. It not only boosts your chain attacks, but it also extends their range. Now that's what I call legendary. Here's the big picture though. Offensive modifiers only on offensive gear, defensive on defensive gear, and universal ones on accessories. This system makes it easier to find the perfect affixes for your build. And yes, even your shoes will have offensive affixes. You want to know why? Well, because footwork is crucial in any fight. So get this, your affix values scale with the gear level. So uncommon gear might give you +3, rare +4, epic +6, one-hander, offhands. Well, they give you half as much as two-handers. It's like rolling 2d6s versus a d12 in a tabletop game. It's balanced and it's fair. I'm really super excited about all these changes. And they're not only going to streamline the game, but they're also going to make our gear truly feel special to us. And we're going to be able to let our creativity flow. So gear up, get ready, theory craft, and get ready to enjoy all these improvements that we got going forward for us. So remember how we were talking about theory crafting? Well, we got an inside scoop of Var'uun's mind when he was talking about his 2 theory crafted builds. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this because these changes could really elevate your gameplay, creativity, and make you think outside the box for potential future theory crafting builds. So let's jump right on in. First up, let's talk about the Vamp Lord Rogue build. Try saying that 3 times fast. Picture this, you're a rogue with dual daggers and lifesteal abilities. Rogues typically have lower health, so any bit of health regeneration can make a huge difference. That's why we're focusing on extra damage at full health affixes. Cool, right? So we're also going to pair that with the dragon skill set affix to reduce the incoming damage. So here's how it works. When you engage in a fight, the first few hits that you take will be reduced. This lets you deal more damage and gain more life steal, which can potentially bring you back to full health during the fight. This means that you can stay in the battle longer and dish out more damage before needing to retreat. Sounds like a game changer, huh? Next, let's talk about Var'uun's one of his most favorite theory crafted builds that he came up with, the high mobility artillery rocket system fighter. And yes, anyone with a military background can recognize the acronym. While you can use a Death Knight or a Swordmaster, Var'uun has chosen the fighter for the durability. They can hang in the fight for a bit longer. We're using the Storm Rage set affix for this build. It increases movement stacks and slows down enemies. Pair it with out of combat damage boots and movement speed, and you're set to zoom across the battlefield. Here's the strategy though. You lock onto your target, charge towards them at rocket rage. The attack bounces between enemies, slows them down, and lets you deal a ton of damage. It's an explosive start to any fight. So I want to see what you guys can come up with. Send me your build craft ideas. You can join me on Discord, send it to there, but I really want to see it in the comments below. Think about your class, your weapon of choice, your passives, and set affixes. Share your builds, teammate class ideas, flasks, potions, whether you're going to use a thunder class flask to open up fights or the fire flask for just crowd damage control. I want to know. But, you know, here's a twist. Tell me what you think these affixes are worth. Estimate the value of each set if I sold them in an auction house. Dream big. Which regular and set affixes do you think will pair perfectly and fetch a high price? Well, there you have it. These new build possibilities are super exciting, and I can't wait to see your ideas. So I want you guys to sit there and go in the comments below and tell me what you guys think. Whether it's one of the two builds that Var'uun is brought forward and we got to see, or even the build that I was talking about that would actually be beneficial for the priest and the melee classes. Sorry, mage classes, I don't really know much about your guys' concept, but I really would like to hear from you guys on what you think would be good affixes for you guys, because I really want to learn more about your classes. I know as a Death Knight main and Rogue main, my most hated class to go against is the Cryomancer. So I really want to see some Cryomancers in the comments and tell me what you guys think would be a good build for you guys. All right, everybody, if you guys like the content that we gave you, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the channel. You know, all it's going to do is help us out. We'll keep on growing and it's not going to hurt you guys at all. So as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.